Hi everyone, I'm back. So many things have happened while I was gone. You shall see that in a future video, hopefully. Today I will be trying out Ohuhu's new set of alcohol markers in my sketchbooks. They came in the hugest, biggest box, and if I didn't have temporomandibular joint problems, my jaw probably would have dropped upon seeing the markers. Quick disclaimer that I am not sponsored, though these products were sent to me to try out. So thank you, ohuhu. Oh, I can't say that correctly. I hope I'm saying that correctly. For now, I'm just doing some loose, low stakes line work. Though with a camera pointed at me, nothing is really loose and low stakes at all. Nevertheless, we shall persevere. I've been very partial toward this classic Microsoft Word default blue. The pen I'm using is a tombow fudenosuke, which is a brush pen. I've been using it in black, unaware they carried a whole color line. Before cracking open the dusty covers of my sketchbook, finals week took me off the grid for a minute there. I did attempt a fuller illustration. However, I found it very difficult to smoothly blend with these markers simply due to the non-brush tip. I'm very used to a soft brush nib and chisel duo as Copics come in, whereas these come in a chisel and fine nib. Different strokes for different folks, literally. So no problem, no sweat, I thought to myself, as the deadline for this video loomed a mere day away. I'll use a different tactic, so here we are. My shading here is more blocky as opposed to blended due to the marker's nib structure. I opted for a more cartoon-like coloring technique where shadows and highlights are clearly distinguished from one another, like you can see the borders of the shapes. I think these are super fun because there are a variety of colors within each color family, so you're not stuck with a few random non-cohesive colors. This kind of takes the guesswork out of choosing which colors to buy. Between the 4 sets, there were a few similar colors and 1 or 2 repeats, like black, which I don't really mind. I also believe the skin color set is especially helpful because it actually features a nice range of skin colors. Maybe in the future there could be like a darker skin tone set or like an even lighter skin tone set, but I feel like this is a good middle range that could be perfect for beginners who want to start incorporating more tones in their art but don't really know where to start or how to choose colors. And now we're freehand sketching. I was losing hope with my first spread because I didn't really like the direction it was going, so I ditched it temporarily, don't fret, and decided to loosen up a little bit. I chose some of my favorite colors from each set randomly. Well, I guess that doesn't make sense. Favorite colors randomly. Well, I just put like very little thought into each decision and just grabbed the marker. Honestly, the creator's intuition kind of popped off, I feel like, because this page didn't end up looking atrocious at all. Anyway, I slapped down some basic silhouettes, not really thinking about anatomical correctness, just having a color for skin, a color for the clothing, like top, bottom, shoes. This was just an exercise for fun, low stakes, again, totally low stakes. Now the real magic happens. So the classic black fudenosuke brush pen makes its welcome appearance once again, and now I'm just going with the flow. If you want to try this exercise, I recommend keeping it easy breezy and don't sweat it, which is advice I should really take, because these days I wake up with my jaw clenched, my eyebrow clenched, my butt cheeks clenched. Since these sketches are pretty messy, though frankly I like the coloring out of the lines look a little bit here, I outline everything with the black marker to finish it off. Big fan of this page actually, and I think I'll try doing more loose things like this. So, final thoughts. I would recommend using these markers for a few purposes now that I've done my due diligence. One would be if you want to lay a flat wash, so to speak, of color onto paper. The chisel tip is great for filling in larger areas like background or a base skin shade, and it does go on pretty smooth, though I feel like depending on the paper you use, stroke marks can be expected. The fine nib can be used for outlining or finer details. My only other quip would be that a scant few of the caps do not match the ink inside, which can be a bit misleading at first. Practicality wise, the carrying case is super convenient. The rounded, thicker shape of the marker barrel is comfortable, and each marker has a nice color payoff. Side note that I do boost the saturation on my videos. Don't want to mislead you guys. I can't say much now about the light fastness or longevity of the ink, and to the extent of my knowledge, they are not refillable at this time. Copics, which are a very similar marker, are refillable and the nibs can be switched, though they do sit at a higher price point. So it all depends on what works best for you. Oh, and I'm not trying to sell you anything, just sharing my thoughts. I think we can all stand to be a little bit more conscious of what we purchase. So weigh the pros and cons for your own artistic needs to really understand if you need these or not. You know, they are a good marker, though I personally would prefer like a brush nib, like I mentioned before. And that is pretty much the extent of my review-ish. I don't know if they wanted a review actually, but I wanted to share my thoughts anyway, for fun. Well, I ended up like pretty satisfied with how the drawings came out. If you have any questions about like the supplies I use, please ask me in the comments. And in case I don't see you for a while, happy holidays, happy new year, happy everything. May we all have a better year than this one. I'll see you later. Bye.